Chapter 328 God just dropped. I'm not even gonna waste any time, we're just gonna get straight into it. We open up with Igo and ISAGI in an elevator. What'd you want to talk about?
At the end of the game, what was your intent with that play?
And yo, what the fuck is going on? Yo, no wonder Baratsuta wants to shut down BLUELOCK. If I gave Igo money to start a soccer program and I see him building this bullshit with my money, I'm trying to get that shit shut down too. This is actually insane. Who even came up with this? What architect did they hire? Was this like Igo's idea, or did he just like pay some fancy schmuck to come up with this idea on their own? Is this even plausible? Like, I'm looking at this elevator right now. Does this even look like something that can really work in real life? I am dumbfounded. There's no way this is the BLUELOCK elevator. But anyways, I was just trying to score my own goal. It felt like the obvious thing to do as a striker. And ISAGI's kind of concerned because he doesn't know if Igo's angry at him.
Sure, the last play after victory was assured. It was good timing to test your new idea, but making too many of those risky moves would create unrest among your teammates who have no choice but to follow up. And the discord will cause BLUELOCK's formation and tactics to fall apart. That approach is just a secondary weapon to use when you can. Don't prioritize methods you can't reproduce.
And okay, Igo kind of scared me a little bit, but you are kind of cooking as usual, so you know I can't complain too much. And ISAGI seems to agree. Okay, sorry, I get that. But coach, I feel like I'm about to find the theory that will defeat Noel Noah and make me the world's best. Huh? And then into an insane double spread, we see ISAGI aura farming on the roof of BLUELOCK. That's why your soccer isn't enough for me anymore. And you see Igo shocked, and goddamn, look at this view. Even ISAGI surprised. Huh? Wait, I had no idea we could get up to the roof here. It's so high. Oh, what a view.
It's for emergency evacuations. Chill out. And if that's the case, then tell me about this theory that surpasses mine.
Well, it's not like I'm denying you, Igo-san. You know those compilations of super plays you sent me? When I watched those, I realized that however much they strengthened my imagination, there was a limit to what I could achieve on my own no matter how hard I try. Plus, fighting against Loki, Lorenzo, and Kaiser made me realize that even if I can win against them in matches or single plays, my abilities as an individual aren't even close to theirs. And Loki, I'm not gonna hold you. Lorenzo, buddy, I kinda forgot you existed. Call me a fake BLUELOCK fan, I don't give a fuck, bro. Lorenzo, you were not that memorable. You're kinda gross, actually. No wonder I fucking forgot you, bro. You were a demon, and not the good kind. If I tried to beat Noel Noah in terms of physical abilities, it would be impossible even if I was reincarnated a million times over. But once I let that sink in and decided to move on, I started to see what I'm lacking. I think people are either geniuses or learners. It's not about which is better. Both types evolve through mutual interactions. When a genius and learner are properly balanced, if they keep competing with one another in the flow state, then their growth potential is unlimited, and either can eventually be the world's best. And I'm so glad ISAGI brought back the talented learners versus genius philosophy back up, because this is so true, and I feel like it's probably one of, if not the most interesting philosophy that BLUELOCK has ever covered. I really wish I was doing reviews during the PhD game, because man, there's just some amazing and beautiful things to be said. So that's why I need to keep being the ultimate learner that Rin and Bachara know that all the geniuses in BLUELOCK want to surpass. And then we're showing a bunch of geniuses. We got Shido, Barou, Rin, Bachara, and is that fucking Atoya? Why the fuck is Atoya in there? Yo, let's not, bro, Kenishiro, there was no reason for you to sneak him in there. You could have chosen like fucking Igaguri for all I care. You're trying to tell me that Atoya is a genius? Oh yeah, bro, I'm so sure. I'm so fucking sure. That pissed me the fuck off. What the fuck is he doing with fucking Atoya in there? I will bet you my actual like left nut, like I will put my left nut in that fucking nutcracker thing from the Attack on Titan manga. If you know, you know. And if Atoya actually is declared as a genius explicitly, I will crush my left testicle on my entire life, on my mother's life. Back to what ISAGI was saying. So keep giving me new kinds of soccer. I'll show you I can become the best in the world. But Igo doesn't exactly seem satisfied. Hey,
Yoichi ISAGI, do you think there's a god of soccer?
And ISAGI's really confused. And so am I, because he just said all that and now you're asking about this shit? Huh? You mean like Zico or Maradona?
No, I mean something unscientific and intangible.
I don't really follow. Why is the logical Igo-san talking about this? Why is he talking about this? Because from my perspective, Igo's always been someone of extreme logic and rationality. So for him to be speaking like this, it's kind of concerning.
At the extremity of thought and effort, mind and body become one. Luck, the environment, everything goes your way. And you feel guided towards your destiny by something outside yourself.
In a sort of omnipotent divine possession. And then we finally get to see Igo's past. Jesus Christ, look at this.
When I was an active player, I encountered it. for 7 minutes, I experienced something I never had before or since.
And this image is insane, because we see the fucking Yatagarasu. Yes, that is the Yatagarasu. It's said to be like a bird with 3 legs and wings, and it's meant to quote-unquote guide people towards greatness, and it seems to be all over Ego, which makes sense because he's describing those 7 minutes where literally everything was perfect. But he also mentions that he hasn't had it since then either,
And I can only explain my level of performance at the time as the workings of some invisible power.
and Asagi is still confused. Is that different from the flow stake or luck formula?
Those are just concepts I developed to study and reproduce that experience. Now answer me, Yoichi Isagi. Do you think there's a god of soccer?
And Asagi's eyes widen. If that invisible power is thanks to a god, then yeah, I do think there is one. When I came to BLUELOCK, I met Bachira right away, and at the very end of the U20 Japan match, the ball came right to me. And it seems like Asagi is describing like the defining moments of his soccer career, and hearing him say that meeting Bachira right away was one of those, like, come on, I love it, I love it. I've always been a low-key Bachisagi shipper. I've said it in previous videos that they were the OG BLUELOCK couple, and it seems like Kanisha remembers that, and I'm glad he does, because even if we don't get like the most interactions out of their characters now, I still feel like moments like these where their relationship is acknowledged and the importance of it nonetheless, it's just so satisfying to hear and read about.
And if you're not a Bachisagi shipper, then get the fuck out of here!
There was also the last goal of the Neo Egoist League. I feel like in those moments, the god of soccer was telling me to set my sights on becoming the world's best.
I see. Maybe so.
Hey Ego-san, let me ask you something. When you were active, what kind of player were you? And Ego kind of goes silent, and then he turns around.
Just like you. I was a dreamer with a head full of ideas, but the god doesn't visit me anymore. I quit soccer when I realized that.
Which I find extremely interesting that Ego of all people would say this, because just earlier, he himself was saying that the luck and flow formula are concepts that he developed and studied to reproduce that experience of having the god on his side. But even he claims that the god has abandoned him, so it seems like what he's trying to say here is that by his own metric, he cannot reproduce the flow and luck formula for himself, because of, I guess, the god abandoned him. I find this extremely puzzling, confusing, and needing of more explanation, because it almost seems like Ego is contradicting himself in his own logic, but deep down I know he isn't. I know there's a reason why he feels the way he feels. It's really just a case of us needing more of his backstory to truly understand where he's coming from, but I just find this extremely interesting, the phrasing of it all.
Nah, I said too much. Okay, this chat is over. Let's go back.
But Asagi has something else to say. Then please, watch me, coach. And in the final double spread, we see Asagi opposing Ego, staring him right in the eyes. And he proclaims, I'm gonna go meet the god of soccer. And in the final panel, we see a shooting star behind Asagi, as he finishes by saying, this egotist you birthed is gonna fulfill your dream. Yeah. And we see Ego with the final thought.
Go on and surpass me, Yoichi Isagi.
And tying back to what I just said about Ego's backstory needing more explanation, this final line here is also so telling, because he believes that Asagi can become better than him. He believes that Asagi has something that he never did. And is it that luck or flow formula on his side? Sure, because clearly Ego feels like he couldn't reproduce that. But once again, it goes back to why? Why couldn't Ego produce that for himself? Why does he believe only Asagi or the other BLUELOCKers can do it? Why is it everyone but him is able to achieve greatness, but he can't because this quote-unquote god abandoned him, but is willing to be on everyone else's side? That is something that logically doesn't make a lot of sense, but I obviously know Kanishiro knows that, and there's going to be a further explanation, and I'm just really interested more than anything to getting to that, and obviously Ego's backstory. Because goddamn, the fact that we're just seeing any of it, and we saw the fucking Yatagarasu on his back is like the first panel of showing Ego's past. If that's not an introduction to a character backstory, I don't know what the fuck is. And finally, I guess what I really want to talk about is where Asagi goes from here as a character. Because if you've been watching any of my videos, you know I've been glazing Asagi since day one, but I've also always thoroughly believed that Asagi is due for a very devastating failure. Because I feel like as a character, he kind of needs something like his loss in the second selection in order to build him back up again even stronger than before. But with this chapter, it kind of seems like he's proclaimed to Ego that that's not going to happen at all, and he's going to go beyond. Now, does this mean that Asagi isn't is it going to fail massively? Maybe. I could kind of see it, like maybe instead of failing, ISAGI just goes on to have some minor roadblocks with character interactions and whatnot, but he'll always win in the end. But I think it would be far more interesting if after this conversation, ISAGI also failed miserably and he connects with Ego on the idea of that quote-unquote god abandoning him. Although I find that a bit hard to fully invest into, because ISAGI as a character has always been someone who takes accountability for his failures, even to a fault. So I can't really see him saying something like, oh, this is God's fault, the god has abandoned me. Hey, but maybe if it's something truly devastating like losing the World Cup, maybe ISAGI's mindset is going to be so broken that he can't say something like that. Who truly knows? But that is chapter 28 God. That's pretty much all I have to say on it. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, because it would mean the world to me, especially because most of you aren't. And until the next video, I'll see ya. Peace.